The one simple secret we're going to talk about today. And what is that one simple secret or one simple step? That's why you're here today. And so, if this is your first time, I want to go ahead and welcome you to our Bizniversity live show. My name is Evie Diaz, and I am a strategic growth speaker and automated client attraction strategist at Bizniversity.com. That's like university. You drop the U and instead replace it with BIZ, like for business. So that's Bizniversity.com. And today it's going to be a quite short and yet concise free introductory course, I guess, to a concept that, although you may be familiar with it, you may not be putting it into practice. But before we get into that one simple secret of what I believe you could be doing to sell more online without being salesy, I want to go ahead and introduce today my guest speaker and I guess co-host for today, Lisa Hannigan. Let me go ahead and bring in Lisa. Hello, Lisa, and thank you for joining me today.
Hi, Evie. Thank you for having me. I'm excited about being your co-host.
Well, I am delighted that you said yes, and I appreciate you. And today, I want you to do a brief introduction of yourself as you're going to be kind of my co host. And in the very near future, I'm going to do a full out interview all about you and perhaps you sharing some of the tips and tricks of the trade that you know. But for today, can you please just tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and who you do it for?
Oh, well, wonderful. Yes, I'd love to. So, again, I'm Lisa Hannigan. I am the founder of Glimmer Learning, and I am also the creator of the show called Engage and Shine. I help speakers, leaders, entrepreneurs really to feel comfortable in this virtual world. So, I help them by creating a powerful connection with the people that they're speaking to and they're sharing their message and their voice. And we do that through video, presenting, and speaking. So we need engagement and we need powerful connection when we're doing that. So I kind of say engagement and connection are my superpowers, and I pass that light on to the people that I work with.
I love that. And we'll talk more about that in a future interview that I'll do with you. And for today, I'm going to share a little bit of content. And what I would love for you is to give me your questions, your thoughts, your input, and what I'm going to share. And we're going to kind of go into this conversation that is going to hopefully help some people that truly hate selling. Now, let me begin by asking you that. Are you one of the people that loves to sell? Or are you someone, and maybe dislike selling, let's call it. Or maybe, well, how do you feel about selling?
Yeah, I'm probably in that dislike. I don't like to sell. No,
Okay.
no.
So if you don't like to sell, do you have a word that you like to use? Because some people have shared with me in the past that they use other words to mean selling that helps them, at least psychologically, perhaps, or emotionally. They do a play on words so that they can feel more at ease when they're going to sell. Do you have one of those words, Lisa?
I like to use the word share.
Absolutely. And so we've heard from many, specifically women, who use that same word. Can you tell me why you selected that word and what that does for you internally when you're getting ready to sell?
Well, I feel like with a lot of things, it has to do with your mindset. When you're speaking with someone about, your services, what you have to offer, and you're also educating them. You have something of value that you want to share with them. And you know that it's going to speak to them. You know it's going to be of value to them and it's going to empower them to step up and to do greater things. And I always like to say it's going to elevate them. And when I think about it that way, that I'm sharing something of value with someone, it makes me go into the conversation very powerfully.
And thank you so much, Lisa, for sharing that because I really do like that. And that brings us to something that I often has have spoken about, and that is the buyer's journey. And I think that when we think about when we meet someone initially and we're just sharing something of value, and not selling to them, that's going to help us to actually, in the short, long term, whatever you want to call it, to actually sell to them. And I love that because, especially when we just meet, we want to see what can we share that we can immediately begin that relationship that's usually heard of as the know, like, and trust.
Mm.
And Lisa, I've often said that when we meet a prospective client, it's a lot like when we date. And now I don't know about you, I don't know you personally that well yet, but I'm recently married, which you know, because I know you sent me an awesome email congratulating me, and I appreciate that and thank you for that. And, when I used to date and I used to go out and meet someone, heck, when I met my now husband, okay, I met him on a website that now it's kind of like a hookup website. I think back then it was, but I didn't know that. And that is Tinder. I met him on Tinder.
Yeah.
And I met him on Tinder, and he had one picture of himself really just with one eye. The photo was just him showing one eye. And, I love that one eye. I said, wow, this guy, I love that one eye, right? And so we spoke on the phone and we met right here in Aventura, Florida, in a local restaurant. And I remember meeting him and we were having some drinks and he had to step out of, we were actually in a bar and some guy said, try to like hit on me. And I was like so turned off by those guys. And I wasn't sure where I was going with this in terms of my now husband, and he knows this story. And the guys, like, I felt so disrespected because they were coming on to me on the bar. And then they were acting like little kids behind.
Mm.
They started saying, ha ha ha. Yeah, grown men. They
Oh.
were like, oh, she only likes pretty boys.
Ah!
Now, mind you, back then, I didn't think he was a pretty boy. And I've told my beloved this, and he's never thought of himself as a pretty boy. I still don't think he's a pretty boy. But we dated for 7 years. He asked me to marry him 3 years ago. And on this 2021, 11/11/21, we finally decided to get married.
Mm.
Now, I often like to mention that number one, because that is to this day the happiest day of my life. And number two, because it took 7 years, And it took some time for us to feel comfortable, for me to think, yeah, I do want to marry this guy, right? And it didn't happen right away. Now, had he, and it's funny because he said, and even in his wonderful wedding vows, he said, I knew I loved you and I knew I would be with you on day one. I did not feel like that. But had he said that to me, I would have probably been totally, totally turned off. I mean, I don't know what your status is, but can you relate to that? Meeting someone and all of a sudden they want to marry you?
Yeah. Yeah, no, well, first off, I am happily married. So I am happily married. But no, I understand what you're saying. And even if, let's just say, you connect with someone and something they say resonates with you, and that attraction, so to speak, that no like trust factor that we're speaking of, you might be drawn to someone right away. Something clicks and you're like, ooh, I like what they said. And that's that kind of that comparison. However, it doesn't mean you want to buy. You're like vested right away. So that's where that rapport building comes in. So yeah, you might connect. You might be like, oh, that's the one. I like this person. I like that one. But it doesn't mean, when it comes to what we're speaking of, this selling, that you're necessarily going to go in all the way just because you feel it and you feel that strong connection. It means that you might commit to really paying more attention and listening very intently. But I think you're still going to spend a little bit more time in most cases, depending upon the value you're going to, the investment. You're going to spend a little bit more time with that person.
And and I'm so glad. So that is exactly it. And here's what I've seen in my years working with speakers, authors, YouTubers, like that have a million followers. When they come to me to help them, it's funny. I remember the first time a YouTuber with a million followers came to me and said, actually, she came to me with her husband, and her husband brought her to my office here in Aventura because he said, you got to help her because she's not making money.
Mm.
And I was like, wow. And then she showed me her YouTube channel. She did absolutely beautiful videos and she became an expert in video. And I was shocked that she said she wasn't making any money. And I said, but your videos are awesome. And you have more followers than me, 1 million followers. And she said, yeah, but I'm not making any money out of it. And then I said immediately, because I have been known as the email marketing queen, I said, are you offering something? Are you getting them into your emails? And she said, yeah, I have just about 1 million subscribers in my email list. Now, honestly, between you and me and whoever else watches this, and by the way, if you're watching us for the first time, go ahead and put in your comments, your questions, who you are, your company name. We love to know you. So please go ahead and feel free to comment below. We're talking about selling. And I was surprised because I didn't believe her when she said she had just about 1 million people on her email list.
That's a
So I
lot.
said, okay, let me see that. You know what, Lisa? She wasn't lying. She had people subscribe, but yet she wasn't selling. She wasn't making any money. And then I said, okay, let me take a look at some of the emails that you're sending. And guess what?
What?
That is where the problem began. I
Ah,
realized that number one, she didn't know anything about the buyer's journey. And although today we're not going to talk about the buyer's journey because I've spoken about it many times, please feel free to go to my Bizniversity by Evie Diaz YouTube channel and learn more. And she didn't know anything about the buyer's journey. And worse yet, Lisa, she didn't know how to write content that converts in the inbox. She didn't know how to do that. And when people do not understand those two things, it becomes very challenging for online course creators, people who have an online membership or are selling a webinar or selling something online. It becomes very hard if they don't understand A, where the person is in the buyer's journey, in other words, the psychology of buying. And secondly, if they don't understand how to write content that converts and ultimately really nurture that know, like, trust, and love journey. And by now, if you've ever followed anything that I've put out there through our Bizniversity live show, when we talk about the buyer's journey, yes, we are saying that it takes about 7 touches. And, there's a process. And even if you wait, the problem is that people are not nurturing that relationship step by step. And I've often said, we meet, supposedly we're dating, we might go for a coffee because, hey, I may not want to be stuck with you for dinner if I don't like you, if you don't look good, if you don't smell good, if you don't know how to speak and communicate effectively, right?
That's right. That's right.
So we need to remember that when we are writing content in the inbox. So yes, today, what I want to share with you is precisely that. And let me go ahead and just share a few tips with our viewers. And like I said, if you're watching us on the replay, love to get your questions, your feedback, your thoughts, either down below wherever you're watching on YouTube, LinkedIn, wherever you are. And also just a reminder that if you'd like to email me, please feel free to email me at evie@bizniversity.com. Any questions, thoughts, or feedback, because I really appreciate hearing from you. So going back to this idea of how do we sell in the inbox? That's right, my friends. If you just joined us or if you're just catching on, the one simple strategy to boost results when you are not into selling, or maybe when you think that you suck at selling, or maybe because you don't like to be pushy or you don't like to be salesy, is to become really good at writing content that converts, specifically in the inbox. Needless to say that in order for people to get in the inbox, you have to write a good lead capture page and sales page. Today, I'm only going to focus on the inbox. And before I share a couple of tips, I want to just go to my co-host, my guest here today. Lisa, do you have any questions as it pertains to email marketing and to selling in the inbox that may be perhaps I can answer for you today?
Well, I think one of the questions that I would think of is the initial start of getting people on your email list. I think backing it up for a moment, because having the content is critical. But how about giving us some tips on that? Because I know that that's a class in itself, but I'd love to share just a quick ideas from you on that.
Absolutely. And I'll make it real for you. You have a show, which I know because we're going to be each other's affiliate partners. I'll be talking more to everyone that I know about. So at every show, similar to the way that I'm doing today, everything I teach, I practice. So let's say right off the top, you may not have an irresistible lead magnet, which that was, by the way, the last challenge that I did, the irresistible lead magnet. So we got to think about, what am I going to use to attract, right? What am I going to use? What's going to be that magnet? So what did you notice that I did just a few minutes ago?
Well, you invited people to email you.
Absolutely. Right below, I have my email, my direct email, because even if we have not thought to create an irresistible lead magnet before we go on as speakers to present, either on a live show like this, on your TV show, on a masterclass or webinar, or even on Clubhouse, on audio, on a podcast, the very least, we must think, and we must be fast to think on our feet and offer at the very least the opportunity for someone to ask us a question or share something. And at the very least, we can give them our email address, right? First and foremost, to make that connection past where we are today. So first of all, be not afraid Be courageous and be bold and think on your feet so that when you are presenting in any which way you can come up with anything, and if not a question that people may have, give them right away your email. The other way that you can do it for us as speaker that I've often said, even when I was speaking on live stages, and I'll give you a story which happened for real. I was invited to speak at the Broward Convention Center here in Fort Lauderdale, not too far from where I live. And there were about 1,500 people in my room. And yes, of course, I was talking about email marketing and many of the things that I talk about on this show. And I knew that right after me was a great presenter. And I said, not everyone is going to want to come and ask me for my business card. So, what can I offer them? Because, yes, I had things that I had, like actual things to offer at my table that I had as a presenter outside of my room. So I said, I know what I will do. Immediately, I oftentimes use PowerPoints, the same as I'm doing today. And I said, by a show of hands, can I see how many of you would like to get your hands on my PowerPoints? A whole bunch of people, even in the back of the room, raised their hands. And I immediately, at that time, I didn't think to offer them my email. I had the constant contact text to join. So I
Mm,
said, go ahead and text this number from your cell phone right now.
mm.
And when I get back to the office, to all of those that requested, I will send you my PowerPoint.
Ah,
So, Lisa, this is a reminder for you. Even if you don't have the constant contact text to join my email list, you could just say, how many of you would like my PowerPoint? Go ahead and email me at Evie at Bizniversity.com. And I'll make sure that as soon as we're done here today, I send you my PowerPoint. How does
love
that
it.
sound?
Love it. Love it. Great tips.
Absolutely. So there are very simple ways that we can grow our list. And of course, I want to remind you that if you want to watch some of the replays from my last Irresistible Lead Magnet Challenge, make sure you visit our Bizniversity YouTube page because I give lots of tips right in that training. So for today, I want to concentrate back on the selling component. Let's just say that you have gathered people's email. Now, many people believe that they suck at selling, that they're not good at selling. Lisa, would it be safe to say that you are among the many?
I wouldn't go so far to say I suck, but it's not my strong suit for sure.
Listen, I hear you, Lisa. I'm there with you. I don't know if I suck. I don't think I do. But I wouldn't say is my forte. Let's say that. And so there are many people who feel sometimes even afraid to say sell, or I'm going to sell, or I do any selling. So that's why I wanted to talk about this one simple strategy. And the strategy is to leverage the power of the inbox and leverage the power of the inbox to nurture that relationship. When someone comes to a presentation or watches your show and you give them something, then what you want to do is walk them in the inbox through those 7 steps in the buyer's journey. And you do that when you can effectively learn to write content that converts. When you think about the different steps, and the reason why I'm mentioning this today is because I'm in a huge project of completing a 7 step email marketing automation sequence for membership and course creators. Meaning, if you have a course online, whether it be a live course, it could be a challenge, or an evergreen product that you want to sell successfully, and whether it's $197 total or $1997, I want to make sure that you have a template to help you write content that converts inside the inbox. Now, what do you think about that, Lisa? Are you there, Lisa?
I'm here.
Yeah.
I couldn't get my mute unmuted. No, I think that that's a great idea. It's funny that that you're talking about this and you're saying 7 steps, because that's what I'm working on right now for my website is a lead magnet with those nurturing and the automation that goes with that, because I realize that is so critical to have, because social media is a great way to nurture, but you have to have more. You have to have more. If people are going to land on your website, there needs to be something there for them, and having something that's going to have that template. And if you're going to help them with that, then yeah, that's amazing that you're doing that.
So you know what I'm going to do? Because you said that, I wasn't planning to do this, but let me go ahead and bring over my website. And I'm going to invite you, Lisa, to visit the website. And I'll remind you again, that is bizniversity.com, like the word university. You drop the U and replace it with B as in boy, I-Z, like for business. And as many of you know by now, I always recommend that on your very first page, you have an irresistible lead magnet. And so here it is. Click here to get secrets to unlock your client's love for your irresistible lead magnet for free. This is good for you, Lisa, because while I do not want you to copy verbatim everything I've written, you will get 7 emails and you could see what happens and how you can write a 7 email sequence. Now, I will tell you that this one, I kind of wrote it really fast. So I didn't use the template, because every time I do something, Lisa, I always improve upon it. So what happened, the last challenge that I had, which just passed about 30 or so days ago, which was teaching people how to do irresistible lead magnets. I created several irresistible lead magnets, this being one of them. And then I wrote this email marketing automation sequence, which is 7 steps, which, by the way, number one, is not using the exact template that has now been revised thanks to my own challenge. Okay. So that is not the revised and the juicy one that I'm just finishing up. And you can use that for yourself. And so I wrote that. I wrote those sequences. So when you go here, this lands you to this page. And in this
Ooh,
page,
look at
yes,
that.
well,
Hot.
it was in February, so it was Valentine's Day, and I wanted to make it juicy.
Yeah, well,
So
still, it's hot. It's catchy.
good. I'm glad you approve. I love that. Thank you. So here's a couple of things for you to consider when writing content that converts or content that sells. You want to come up with an awesome image, of course, especially if, like me, you're not a graphic designer, do the best you can. Then you want to come up with a great headline. Now, do you like this headline?
I do. I love it. I
And
love
then
it.
do
I
you
love
know
it
what?
because it's
Go ahead.
secret and unlock and irresistible. And then I like checklist. I like if I can, it's a checklist. It doesn't sound like it's going to be complicated.
Exactly. Remember that when you are doing an irresistible lead magnet, because yes, checklists are easy to do and easy to digest. And here, the this is the headline, and this is the now I forgot the word, the not the co-headline. I just missed the word. Okay, so you have to have this so people know what it is, and then you want to write something here. And by the way, I still have to improve this one because I learned a lot from myself in my last challenge. So, and you will too, Lisa, by the way, because as I was going through the challenge, I started revising all this content, which is what I always do. So
Mhm.
this is actually going through a revision. The actual lead magnet, which initially in the challenge itself took me 45 minutes to create the whole thing. And
Hmm.
in the challenge for the VIPs, I taught people how to do it because I had a woman who said it took her 6 hours to do her last one. So I
Oh,
wanted to show her how you can do it in an hour. So this one was less than an hour, and everything you see written here was in less than an hour, right in the VIP section. When you go here, it will actually download. And
hmm.
then the one checklist I did beef it up and it looks a lot nicer now. And you're going to get 7 emails, which do not include the way that I am now doing that, but take a look at how I'm writing. You're going to learn a lot just from looking at me doing it and experiencing what I've done. And then within that, you are not going to get anything at all sold to you. Okay. Which by the time you finish 7, maybe that'll change because I do have another challenge coming up. So just being transparent. And you will notice that I'm going to give you tips to then do the lead capture page. Because while I was doing the challenge, I also learned a few things with myself about myself regarding the capture page. So you're going to get that right in there. So feel free to go to our Bizniversity website. Here's the direct link for anyone who would like to get it. And let me put that in the comments, and that'll show up on LinkedIn, YouTube, as well as Facebook. And let me just go ahead and say, when you're writing, then that's when you really have to put the biggest effort. And this is really the point I want to share today. What I am seeing over the past 15 years that I'm doing this work is that people usually hire a web designer or a VA to do this type of work. Do you know people like that?
Yes. Well, and to be transparent with you, I have my marketing company working on this for me because they had a special going on 50% off for the love month of February. And they've done a lot of great work for me. So, and I don't have the time to create it.
And I will tell you that it's okay for you to let them, but you need to tweak it if
Oh
you
yeah.
want to make sure you get found organically. So you want to tweak it for keywords, and that's called search engine optimization, which,
Yes.
by the way, in my next challenge, it's going to be about optimizing your content both for SEO as well as more clicks so that you can sell more. And I'm going to be talking about that next month when we do our challenge.
I'm all over that challenge then. I want to
Yes.
sign up for that. I need to learn that.
Yes, because like you, most people will tell me that they allow someone else to create all their content and then they just put it out there. Now, because I had a marketing agency before and I worked with many web designers as part of my team, many of them may know how to make a website, but they don't know how to write content that converts,
Mm.
content that sells. And many of them don't know SEO. So because of that, I like to teach people who, like you, have no time to write it, to take whatever they have created, if they do create some of it, and then tweak it so that you have your keywords as well as so that you know how to write it so that it'll
Mm.
convert. And you'll hear more about that because, like I said, the next challenge, I'm going to be talking about that. Now, I want to encourage you to really invest your time even if you don't know right now how to optimize for SEO or for clicks, to please either A, review content that other people write for you, and B, if whenever possible, you begin writing your own content.
Mm.
And when you're writing it, always remember to begin with the end in mind. Or as I like to say, begin with results in mind. And
Mhm.
ask yourself, what do I want people to do when they read this landing page, this lead capture page, this email? At every step, you should be asking yourself, what is the results? What is the outcome that I would like to see? Of course, I said that was only going to be one tip, which is to write content that converts. And I'm going to give you a second tip, and that is because I speak about the client attraction, and pretty soon I'm just going to be calling myself money and client attraction strategist. You want to really begin by thinking about that.
Mm.
And you want to put that mindset, positive energy into the work that you're doing. And much like I do, you want to revise it every time you put it out there in the universe. You put it out and share it with your ideal dream clients,
Mm.
because by doing that, you will be improving. Much like I just shared with you that I have been improving, because when I do a challenge, and I am the host and I'm hosting a challenge, I learn from the content I share myself.
Yeah.
So make sure that you're doing that. Continue writing, write every day, be very vigilant when you sign up for other people, other experts like me. Look at how I'm writing, what I'm writing, the words I'm writing, the way that I'm writing, where am I putting what? Because you can learn a lot from other people too. Be very vigilant about that. Any questions about that before I give my last final words?
No, no, I love all that you're sharing, and I love how you write because I am on your email list and I get your emails and I love they're very relatable. They're very I feel like you it's your personality in the emails, and I think that that's important to remember, and why I do love to write my own content. I There's very few things that I do hire out because I enjoy writing because I want me in the content. So I love that you are encouraging people to write as much of their content as they can.
Absolutely, absolutely. And thank you for saying those kind words. And I want to remind people, if you want to be invited to our upcoming challenge, which we will cover more about how to write content that converts clients, content that sells, make sure you pick up that irresistible lead magnet right in the homepage at bizniversity.com. Now, I also want to make sure that I remind those of you that would like to become part of our affiliate program that is also launching this coming month, that you head on to YouTube and watch our last Bizniversity live show where I spoke about growing your list by and growing your clients by collaborating with other people, or as I like to call it, synergizing and becoming synergy partners with other people. So go ahead and make sure you visit our YouTube page and take a look at last week's training. As well, of course, visit our website and go to Affiliate Partnership Program 2022. Now, I know that I was briefly telling you about this, and that is, I was just telling you, Lisa, about this. I want to make sure that you go ahead and visit that page. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share that link right in here so that everyone has it. I'll share it right in the chat. And Lisa, I'm going to put it in the private chat so that you can click on that, so that you can join that. And what I'm doing is I am launching my 2022 affiliate program by doing an affiliate marketing training. In other words, what I'm doing that I believe could be helping you. Like always, I only teach on things that I'm doing because I have experience with that. And I always say, do not copy exactly as I'm doing it, but mimic me. If it's helpful for me, it may just be helpful for you. So I'm inviting you to join our affiliate program and to look at how, by joining, you're going to get an invite to join us in a Zoom meeting, because we're going to do a little training on affiliate marketing. And then for those of you that are interested, who are speakers, who have authored a book, and who are particularly business, marketing, and sales speakers, to please visit our bizniversity.com website and apply to speak at our website, because we still have some spot for some speakers and we love for you to be the speaker that joins us next. So, any questions that I did not cover?
I don't know. You shared a lot, and I'm excited about your affiliate training coming up. So I'm very excited about that.
Absolutely. And have you ever attended our speaker summit?
I don't recall if I've been to a speaker. So I know that I've been in several things that you've done because you and I connect all the time outside of your Facebook lives for other things. So I'm not sure if I've been to an actual summit though.
Okay. Well, what I'm going to say is I'm trying to see if I can show you. Let me go ahead and share this page so that you can see, because it's not live yet, but I want to go ahead and share it with you so you can see the quality of speakers that I'm very proud that we have worked with and attracted. So here are some of the speakers that we've worked with, some local, some very well-known speakers in terms of the National Speakers Association, of which I'm not a member, but I have many friends that I admire and that I appreciate and that I like. And then when you visit that website, for some reason it's not working for me. I think it's because, of course, I have the cookies, but you should be able to, let's see if I can open this in incognito. Let's see if it lets me. Then right in there, it should allow you to, and am I sharing the page here? Can you see that?
You are, yes.
Okay, so there should be a pop-up for those of you that want to apply to speak. There should be a pop-up that will come right then and there. But otherwise, like I said earlier, just email me at evie@bizniversity.com, and you'll be able to then request that you would like to be considered. I do ask that you send a video of yourself presenting along with your topic and title. Now, Lisa, I want to thank you for being here. I look forward to interviewing you. Is there anything else that you would like to say before I say goodbye to everyone and thank those that are going to be watching the replay? Anything else?
No, I mean, I'm just honored that I was able to join you today, and this was a lot of fun. So definitely a lot of fun, and I learned a lot. And like I said, I'm very excited for the upcoming affiliate training, and you're always offering a lot of value. So anyone who is catching your replay, know that anything Evie puts out, follow.
Well, I appreciate you, Lisa. I cannot wait. I'm more excited now than when we spoke. I'm more excited because I think that definitely I want to synergize with you. I definitely want you to be one of my synergy partners because you have great energy and you're just a beautiful person inside and out. So
Oh,
thank you
thank
so much.
you. Thank you.
So I'm going to remove you for now. Stay behind so we can chat before you take off. If you have time, otherwise I'll catch up with you. Don't worry. I just want to say thank you to everyone. And I want to remind you, I'm Evie Diaz, Strategic Growth Speaker at Bizniversity.com. And I am delighted and thankful that you're watching this video today. Please feel free to reach out if you'd like to be part of our summit or if you would like to join us as an affiliate. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name's John Tenza, and I've been a success coach for the last 20 years. I've been a professional realtor for 30 years, and I've taken all kinds of seminars and truly have paid over $100,000 to other experts to help me become better at what I do. I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt that Evie Hernandez is in a league of her own.
I just finished a 3-day client attraction retreat with Evie Hernandez, and it was one of the best trainings that I have experienced.
Ease and really having something that is simple, that works. And that's what she gave us, simplicity, ease, the things that work. And it was just the most fantastic experience. And you've got to do it. You got to do it. Got to try it. Buy the replays. Whatever it is, make it happen.